From Texas, let's move on to Port Monmouth, New Jersey, where Whirl Construction is just a ferry ride away from New York City, where as of April 29th, more than 165,000 coronavirus cases had been confirmed. And in New Jersey, the state where the company is actually based, there have been more than 114,000 cases. Despite his firm's proximity to the epicenter of the pandemic for the United States, Whirl Vice President Jim Davis Jr.'s crews are still at work.
Going into the second quarter of a season, we're usually rocking and rolling by now, and it's starting to get a log jam. So we don't have that log jam right now, which that is something that we think about, and how we're going to turn this thing around. But everybody's in the same boat, so we're getting through it. We're navigating through it.
Whirl specializes in the construction of playgrounds and park areas mainly, including installation of playground equipment. Whirl has been able to continue working on 80% of the company's jobs, with about 3/4 of its employees still on the payroll.
Some customers, for whatever reason that their site warrants, they want us there. For instance, we're at a school that's not in session, obviously, so the decision makers want us to be at that school, as long as we're out of harm's way to do that work. We're not interfering with any children.
Now, in terms of backlog, Whirl's clientele is, they do a lot of public work since they're doing a lot of playground installs. A lot of that comes with local municipalities and schools. Now, most of that has not fallen off. However, a lot of that work has been postponed to a later date.
There's a few other customers that say, the mayor or the county has put a blanket order where they don't want any work being conducted. So we just know to back off, and when the time is right, we'll revisit those customers. That said, it takes a little more on the admin side for coordination, just to know and navigate who is looking for people to show up on sites and who absolutely doesn't want us there, because the last thing you want to do is show up and start working and get shut down and cause a stir up unnecessarily.
Kind of a nice segue here from the seeing the PPP as a way to kind of continue the momentum that a lot of contractors have kind of gained in kind of a rebound from the 2008 economic downturn. A lot of them have also been forced to kind of adapt to this new situation. And I think one of the more interesting things I've heard during this time from contractors is exactly how they've adapted their day-to-day and the logistics of their operations, and really how most of them agree that the way they do their jobs is likely to forever be impacted by these changes. So at Whirl Construction in New Jersey, they've implemented rotating office schedules and social distancing measures to make sure employees don't come into contact with one another more than is necessary. But Jim Davis Jr. tells us that one of the things that stood out to him most during this time was how really the daily operations of the business never really have hurt, even though most everybody on the administrative side of the company has been working from home. And that's all really been thanks to cloud software.
Luckily, we're set up on the cloud, so we're able to have a lot of work remotely, and that's definitely been a plus. And it was, something that we didn't foresee when we got on the cloud 4 years ago, but it turns out it was good. So we had really no disruption in service from the admin side, which is a plus for the business. But the cloud has just given us the flexibility to be remote, be anywhere, and jump onto our company server, and also have our phones VoIP through the internet provider. So our phones actually work through the cloud as well. So again, the disruption of service from the admin side has been very minimal, and it's been a great asset with people being able to connect while not in the office, and customers calling our office and directed to those remote sites. It's just been a great advantage that, like you said, never thought 4 years ago we would need it for this.
So we said earlier that Whirl's backlog has not really been impacted all that much outside of a few public projects that have been postponed. Meanwhile, other bids are still happening for the company thanks to conference calls.
We actually just did a conference call bid opening last week. The same reason the customer didn't want contractors and unnecessary people walking around town hall, so they gave a number and read the bid via conference call. So there's, everybody's learning, new tricks. Everybody's learning new ways to do business.